Hello, model railroad fans. As you guys that have been watching me for a while know that I sometimes forget to turn a turnout in the right direction and short out the locomotive. That's when the foghorn comes out. So when I use JMRI, I'm seeing the screen, so it's easy to get those right. When I'm using just the throttle, I can't see the other side, so I created routes in my MRC controller to help me with this. Here's how I did it. Okay, so to define a route in the MRC controller, you have to be using your main cab or throttle. And I have two throttles on this layout, so I had to make sure that what I was using was cab number one or throttle number one. So I pressed system 6 to see what number it was, and it was 1, so I didn't have to change it to 1. So the next step is I want to clear an existing route just to make sure it's empty. So you press system 0 and then enter, and then you enter a route number 1 through whatever and press enter, and it clears all the turnouts that are inside that route. So to set up a new route, you press system 6, system 5, that should be a 5 right there. That's my mistake. System 5, and it'll show route set, and you hit enter. Then you enter the route number you want, let's say number 3, press enter. And then you need to select the direction key. That's the locomotive direction key, forward or backwards. So if you want to have this turnout set as straight, just leave it in the forward position. If you want it to be diverging, then push the reverse arrow before you enter the turnout number, and then enter the turnout number and press enter, and then you repeat steps 3 and 4 until you're finished and hit enter. Note that you can only have 8 turnouts in a route. So then to run your route, you press route and then the number, like 3, 4, whatever, and press 1 to activate the settings that you have put into the route. And then you press 2 if you want to completely reverse the settings from the first one. So what you can do is you hit a 1 and it runs your route, and you hit a 2 and it puts it back the way it was before you started. So hang on a minute. So to keep my routes and turnouts organized, I create this spreadsheet. So routes 1, 2, and 3 are really designed to set up the whole layout so that all the turnouts are straight. And from the previous little section, I talked about how to do that. So again, you can only have 8 in a route, so I put 8 in the first route, and then I put the rest of the turnouts that are on the main base level, and then for the upper level, I made those route 3. So what I do is, you get started, I'll do route 1, I'll press the 1 as an option on the route, and that 1 doesn't know if it's really straight or curved or diverging. That depends on how I've set the route numbers over here. So anyway, we push a 1, and any that aren't set straight should change. But to be sure, I'll press a 2, I'll hit route again and press a 2, which means do the opposite of what you did for number 1. So every one of those will then go to a diverging. And then I want to push them back, so I'll hit route 1 again, and I'll hit a 1 on the throttle, and it'll put all those straight. So I'm kind of making sure with clicking them back and forth that they're going to be straight. Same thing on route 2 and route 3. these numbers here really don't correspond to the number on your throttle after you hit the route number. It'll show 1 or 2. But if I want to activate number 4, I'll hit route 4 and then I'll hit a 1, which is a little counterintuitive, but what that means is throw these to diverging. And then when I'm done with this route, I'm going to hit route 4, or it's probably still open. Well, it wouldn't be because I'd be running a train. So I'll hit route 4, and then I'll hit a 2 on the throttle, which means do the opposite of what this says. So it should push those back to straight. And then this will take the train from the co-op to the mill, and this route 5 will take the train from the mill to the co-op, back to the co-op. So it's in the same position as it started. So that's a little confusing when you push 1 and 2 on your throttle. And again, they're not corresponding to these numbers. That 2 just means I want that to be thrown, and that's where I use the directional arrow on the throttle. I push the reverse on the throttle before I enter the 6 here, and that'll tell it that it's supposed to do a diverging route. So a little bit complicated, but I think if you try it, just start simple. I think you'll get it. Okay, that last section with the spreadsheet with the talk about the 1s and 0s is kind of confusing. So I'm going to show you what Route 5 looks like, which would bring the grain train from the mill back down to the co-op. So I'm going to hit route, I'm going to hit 5, I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to hit 1 because that's the way I want it to change them. I hit 1. Okay, so right up here you see how it changed this one to go underneath the tunnel, under the tunnel over there, so it can whip around backwards. Now I want to reverse this, so I'm going to hit 2. So after the train is back over there on the track where the co-op is, I'll hit 2, which then changes it back to straight. Okay, now don't get this 2 or off confused with my number 2 on the spreadsheet. That 2 on the spreadsheet just indicated how I want to set up that turnout. So I hope that maybe cleared up some confusion.